Welcome back, Cartonize 2025, another session today presented by Bob Malley from Sendflex. The name might sound familiar. My name's James Malley. Bob Malley is actually my father, and he is prolific in the transportation software space. So it's my privilege to introduce him at a Paccurate event. And you will all get to see what it's like to get a lesson from Bob. We're also joined by Brad Davis from NRS. Really grateful that he could make the time to join us. Very busy time at his company. Just some housekeeping notes real quick. This session will be pre-recorded, so you'll get a copy of it in your inbox within 24 hours after we wrap tonight. Please put questions in the questions box. We will reserve time as best we can at the end to kind of engage with those. And this is a good opportunity to sort of interrogate these folks on their expertise. Use the reaction buttons throughout to engage, and join the next session. When we're done, there'll be a big pink pop up and you click the button. We've heard some people having issues getting from session to session. Obviously, if you're here, you figured it out. But if you have any problems, just hit refresh. So without further ado, Bob and Brad, take it away. I'll see you at the Q&A at the end.
All right. Thanks, James. And it's good to know that people with all the highest IQs figured out how to get to this session. So I appreciate it. And thanks for letting us participate. James, if you recall, I cautioned you against developing cartonization. I thought it'd be too hard, but you didn't listen, which is a good thing for everybody else in the industry. I'm Bob Malley. I have over 30 years experience building parcel technology businesses, starting with Clippership and then Transtream, Sendpro Enterprise, Agile Elite. And so I'm here to really talk with Brad Davis, who's VP of Operations for NRS. And Brad, if you can give us kind of an overview of your background and of NRS, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, sure. I spent 10 years with Walmart Logistics, and the last 20 I've been with NRS. And currently we have about 5 retail locations, and we have a e-com platform that we 3 different channels: Walmart, Amazon, and Shopify. And recently I'm actually on site in Ohio. We're just acquired another company that we're basically just going to do the same thing out of up here. And our WMS guys are actually on site doing volume testing as I speak right now. So that's what's going on.
Well, thank you so much, Brad, for joining. I know you're busy with bringing that DC online. So I thought what we would do today is really focus on a few areas. First, what are the trends that that we're watching? Me from a technology standpoint, Brad from you from a operational standpoint, and how do they factor into our strategies? Secondly, what are the challenges as a result of those trends? What are the challenges that are presented by those trends? And then how have you overcome them at NRS? And a little bit of a preview. You've managed to reduce your average cost per parcel by 16.3% by implementing cartonization and other decision intelligence. So really excited to have you share that with the audience. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
So one of the key trends that we focus on is the cost of transportation, which in a B2C supply chain is now known to be the most expensive portion of that journey. And I suppose in my previous businesses, we always focused on automation, but the trend today in terms of technology and what we're doing at Sendflex is decision intelligence. It's almost like automation at the table stakes. Decision intelligence are what shippers want today to make better decisions to control cost. Brad, how have you experienced that sort of transition from really the focus on automation to the focus on shipping cost control?
Well, first of all, your costs with the carriers is usually the second largest cost next to payroll, so it's always being scrutinized, and really with us, when our journey has been really, we switched to a different WMS. And so that helped with some of our productivity, our labor costs. Then our focus was, okay, how do we get shipping costs under control? Well, is it a carrier thing, or is it a shipping platform? So we did a lot of research, and obviously had experience with several different ones over the years. And that's kind of what we found, is find the ones that have a good niche for your business. I mean, just really understand the data first, and really let Sendflex, let Paccurate, let those guys kind of do the heavy lifting once you've identified, like, okay, this is how we want to operate, and this is some of the business rules that we want to implement. But yeah, I mean, just really let this be the key decision maker on how we're going to do it. And I mean, it's black and white for us, like Bob mentioned earlier, as to where we were before, and average cost of shipping expense that we're sitting at now.
Yeah, you mentioned business rules, and one of the things that we're focused on is the complexity that has crept into the parcel market, where the carriers are really trying to maximize their revenue streams because their costs are going up. But it's created a lot of volatility and disruptions with surcharges and really the constant change. So the old way we had of dealing with that was you mentioned business rules, was to custom program business rules. But I think the technology trend now is to try to provide more tools for business users in the shipper environment, so that they can more quickly adapt to all the changes that are coming through. And Brad, I just wondered if you could comment on that. How, from an operational standpoint, I think you said you would move from a UPS only shipping system, WorldShip, to something that is a little bit more robust in terms of decision making.
Yeah, I mean, just the ability, an unbiased platform is really the way that we started kind of looking at it, is just to allow, like I said, allow multiple carriers to your business needs. And because one carrier is not going to solve everything, right? And you'll find too that it's always a little more complex than what you at first glance. But yeah, with us, adding the carriers that can provide those niches in there, and like I said, the other side of it is to attract them to on the front side. Like, we integrate with Shopify and wrote some business rules through Sendflex on the front side, to basically try to get people to help pay for shipping now that we can pull in transit times and how fast you want it. For a few dollars more, you can, kind of nudge people in the right direction, kind of thing. So that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, when we think of margin erosion, we think of gross margin after shipping costs. How do you make those predictions if constantly you might be surprised by surcharges showing up on carrier invoices that you didn't expect? And I think in the context of this session, dimensional weight adjustments have been haunting a lot of shippers because they didn't have the capabilities of optimizing packing for transportation costs. So I remember in 2015, Fred Smith, was the CEO of FedEx at the time, went on a rant because they couldn't deliver all packages during peak because 16% of their capacity was soaked up with air, shipping air or carrying air. And soon after that, I think the carriers quite rightly said, "Hey, if you're gonna want us to ship air, you can't, be charged based solely on physical weight." So you probably lived through that era where dimensional factors came into account, Brad. What was your experience like in trying to deal with that?
I mean, we just took it really, really simple. Just pack it as small and tight as you can. I mean, that's the most simplest approach that we had. And more recently, with Paccurate, letting them analyze everything. So, hey, these are the boxes that we think that we need, and with that technology, you can. It just makes you feel good. Okay, yeah, let's eliminate this. Let's tighten this box up here, and you got to be. You got to think through time periods because your shipping characteristics will change, let's say, for Christmas seasonality versus what you're shipping in the summer. So that's how we handle it now, and let the systems kind of run that analysis and cut down on the just pack it as tight as you can, but and also with the factor of how much your boxes are costing. It can help you make those decisions as well.
Yeah, the cost of moving from a smaller box to a larger box from a corrugate cost standpoint, it can be pretty significant. And it's that you can't always rely on operators to make the right decisions because they're probably under the gun, right? They are being tasked with getting packages out the door as fast as possible. And I think one of the reasons why we still get today packages on our doorsteps that are with oversized cartons. And I just wonder how those shippers deal with that. Why are they not making the kind of changes that you've made, Brad?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I mean, with us, it really kind of started, like I said, from a financial focus and just really drilling down the data from your carriers and examining, wow, what is this charge here and how it relates and what we can do, and that's how we kind of worked ourselves into finding a platform that could help identify this on the front side,
Yeah, and one of the things that we've noticed from a technology standpoint, and maybe one of the reasons why there's still so much poor packing, is the legacy systems, whether they're WMS systems, e-com systems, OMS systems, were really never designed to take transportation costs into account. Most of what they focused on was automation, throughput, getting all the orders out during the course of a day, and not so much on parcel. And I think the reason for that was parcel was, costs were never. I mean, you'd bring a carrier in, I guess, once a year and beat them up on contract negotiation, but then it was just, that's the carrier that we're using, the carrier two that we're using. So those logistics systems never were really that concerned with optimizing based on cost. And I just wondered, as you've been probably migrated from different WMS systems and e-com systems, how that's changed over the years and the perspective.
Oh, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's exactly that. The WMSs, they're not built for that kind of complexity, I guess, is the main thing. They route you through your warehouse, utilizing pick waves, and it's all solely based on productivity. which is great, right? You you definitely want efficiency in the warehouse, but when it came time to you get your products, you get your package ready to go out the back door, it's just, hey, we can produce a label for you without optimizing the best source, the best packaging, like I mentioned earlier, the smallest box, all of that. So yeah, none of them are. I mean, the one we're using now is great, and efficiency costs have gone down since we have been with our latest WMS. But yeah, it's really it's morally just passing the information on to get a label out. That's kind of their, here's the weights, here's the DIMs, here's where it's going. Produce a label. They're not really looking at all those added complexities that go along with the platform, the shipping platform.
And I can say the same is true for my previous businesses with Clippership and with Transtream. It was really, again, about automation, and really we're focused on that last, 100 feet of a conveyor, printing the label. Mm-hmm. But now, the decisions that need to be made have to be made, the cost-saving decisions have to be made further upstream. And so supplementing those legacy, logistics systems is kind of is the critical issue, and it's sort of the mission that Paccurate and Sendflex are on. So I wondered if you could kind of walk us through, as you look from the journey from order to invoice, starting with that shopping cart, the shopping cart experience. First of all, could you explain, Brad, why it's important for you to get the costs right, to recognize what the probable cost will be in a shopping cart, cost and delivery time will be, and how you've been able to implement that in your current platform?
Well, number one with us and with any e-com shipper, it's all about identifying maintaining all of your SKUs, making sure that they're represented in a fashion as to how they're going to go out the door, how you're going to package those items. So if the system's not working off of the correct numbers, then it's not going to give you a correct quote. And then, okay, so assuming you have that correct information on your SKUs, when that loads in that shopping cart, the system needs to provide an accurate quote for shipping. Give the customer the option of, okay, we know these items are going to fit in this box and it's going to this destination, and it's searching in the background as to, okay, if it's everybody has free shipping, heck, 80% of probably 80 to 85% of all of our shipments are free shipping. So obviously we have to make sure that that the system is accurate on what I would call the front end, what the customer's seeing, and sourcing the right carrier, that it's using the right size box and all that, and then when it gets to the backside, really it should be the same thing. The added layer that we've added on is it's time in transit. So it's a huge thing now. Nobody wants to wait 7 days for a package. So giving the customers the ability to choose that, to upgrade for, not the full cost of shipping, but our approach has just been, if we can just a few dollars here and there, give them the option of, you want it a little bit faster, pay a few dollars there. If we can just knock a few dollars off here and there on those orders, it adds up. It on the backside, it can add up to a pretty staggering amount.
It improves, obviously, it improves your margin, a little bit here, a little bit there. Why not? I thought it was very interesting that you're actually promoting, I guess, priority services as a way of maybe, adding a little bit more markup on the rate that you're getting, as a way of recovering, or as a way of reducing margin erosion. I just thought that was the first time I've heard of shippers doing that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, that's been our latest approach, and I mean, it's successful. Like I said, just kind of giving the decisions to the customers. They, look at it from the perspective, hey, just for a few bucks, I can get it a couple of days faster. And it's not necessarily even when you said priority, it's not an air service. It's just, if you're sourcing, say, USPS ground advantage versus UPS ground, well, there's kind of the priority shift right there, so it really never, sometimes it translates into true air shipments, but most of the time it's just a faster ground type service for what we're seeing.
Yeah, from a technology standpoint, Shopify is making the call to us. We are using Paccurate to figure out the best carton to use given their carton set. We then go through the routing rules that you set up and I think based on weight, you've done quite a bit with using USPS for lower and DHL for lower rate orders, lower weight orders.
Right.
And then based on that, we send the results back all within 10 milliseconds. I mean, it's extremely fast.
Mm-hmm.
That we see this as a huge success and something that we're seeing more often. That shopping cart experience. Then we get to fulfillment, and Brad, I guess same thing. How does that workflow work from the time the orders get dropped into Deposco? How does that work?
Well, once the orders get to the WMS, I mean, it routes it into pick waves, and so multiple orders are picked at one time, and then assuming, and with us, we're a high volume shipper of single item orders. So for us, a lot of the shipments are single line. So once it goes through the pick wave, they're routed to the packing stations, and then at the time the packers pull the product off, they'll pull up when the order's pulled up, it instantly tells them what carton to put it in. And I mean, it can even tell you how to orient it in the box. With us, like I said, a lot of our shipments are single line, but we have the occasional wholesale order where there's 30 items or a significant amount. But anyway, it just gives us the packers that instant, hey, this is the box you need to use. And for us, it's a huge benefit because, yeah, you've got a person that's at your packing table for 20 years. They're very experienced, right? Even though sometimes they think it needs to go this way or whatnot. But bottom line, those are very experienced. But for us, we're extremely seasonal based. So we have to almost double our staff in November, October, November timeframe. And you're dealing with people who've never put anything in the box in their life. And with the system now, those decisions are made for them. It's, hey, just follow what it says to do. And at the time that they finish the packing, you click a button, the label comes out, and that's it. Put it on the line, and box gets loaded, and it's on its way.
So Deposco is one of the first WMS platforms that actually wrote this pack out procedure to Sendflex, and where we're applying packing rules and routing rules, and again, automating and operationalizing intelligent decisions is really the outcome. Mm-hmm. So how would you summarize the benefits? I know that a 16.3% decrease in shipping costs per package is just amazing to me. And congratulations to you for your vision to do that. Can you elaborate on some of the benefits? I know we have about 1 minute left.
I think the key points are really it started with us understanding our data and picking a platform that could handle different carriers. That's in a nutshell, that's it. And with a little bit of can we get a little bit of our shipping costs back on the front end, like I said with the Shopify site. But yeah, carrier diversification and the platform, the analysis that Paccurate provided for us to determine that we're using the best set of boxes for our products. I mean, that's key. So not only have our shipping expenses gone down proportionally, but packaging supplies, that's a huge thing too. We're actually spending less on packaging overall than we were at the same time last year, with a 15% increase in volume going out the back door.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's amazing. Well, we have some questions coming in now, and
I'm back to help facilitate that, Bob. Both of you, thank you so much. Brad, thank you for sharing some of the detail of this success story. Also love the DePasco shout out. Joe Henderson from DePasco is actually presenting in our noon Eastern session. So exciting to hear from them. All right, so let's get into the questions. Let's see. We have one question. Do you provide a service to compare DIMs on shipping versus carrier bills? Any success on carrier audit side of that? And that's from Stuart. And that's probably for Bob.
Yeah, the trend that we are, following is, again, margin management, the focus on how to stop the erosion. And a lot of that erosion is a result of the gap between expected shipping costs and actual shipping costs that show up on an invoice is widening for all the reasons we talked about. So one of the things that Sendflex does is import the carrier invoice data, match it up against the manifest data, and determine what the differential is. And what that helps do is analyze where's the leakage occurring, and then being able to adjust the optimization instructions to better predict and anticipate what those, how to close those gaps.
Got it. Okay. Another question here, probably for Brad. What other strategies are you pursuing to reduce shipping costs? So I know you covered a lot, but is there anything you can talk about that's like separate from what we discussed here?
I mean, I think honestly, the thing we're doing right now is just adding another carrier that we've identified that probably not as much. I mean, there will be, in my mind, there's probably more a minimal amount of bottom line savings. But when you factor in just the amount of, I guess, it's going to get delivered right the first time. The speed is going to, be a better customer service thing, and just the dependability. So I feel like that's what we're doing right now. Is we're in the process of adding another carrier, and we haven't even dove into the regional carrier network. I actually talked to a guy last week, and we're just going to have to, because of our current search situation, just to handle this first. But yeah, regional carriers are probably for us on our radar coming up very, very soon.
Once you diversify, it's hard to go back, or once it's easier to add more carriers, it's hard to go back.
Exactly.
Cool. We have maybe 30 seconds literally left. So Bob, one question I saw for you, what can you give a 30-second answer to what the main difference is between your current company and Clippership and PureBridge? Can you give your elevator pitch?
Yeah, okay, here it comes. Now we have 20 seconds. The main difference is back then, we focused on automation, keystrokes, throughput. Today, we focus on, those are table stakes now. You have to have that. Today, we really focus on how to automate and operationalize decision intelligence throughout the ordered invoice processing.
That was good. That was a good 20-second explanation. Thank you. All right, we are all out of time. Thank you so much. I saw a few more questions come in. We will engage with you via email. If you're trying to join the next session, there should be a big pink pop-up. If you have any trouble getting to it, you may have to refresh the page. Maybe they fixed it since the session started. I'm not sure. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Brad, so much for lending your time to Cartonize 2025. And thanks for everybody for coming.
Thanks,
Have a good day.
Paccurate.